Manchester United's January transfer window was nothing short of chaotic. Big names loaned out, a wonder kid almost sold, and a crucial signing made. But was it a success or a disaster? In this video, we'll break down United's latest signings, but not so surprising outgoings, and the shocking near sale of one of our most exciting young stars. And at the end, we'll rate this transfer window, so stick around. One new signing, Patrick Dorgu, the highly rated left-back, arrives with a lot of potential, but is he ready to make an impact at United, or is this just another long-term project? As per Fabrizio Romano, the fee for Dorgu was €30 million plus €5 million in add-ons, not guaranteed, which converts to around £30 million. From researching Dorgu's career, there's no hiding what Amorim has brought in. He's a young physical beast who's going to bring some much-needed intensity into the team, something that, courtesy of Fabrizio Romano, we now know that Manchester United are looking for in their upcoming signings. Here's what Fabrizio had to say. Ruben Amorim keeps telling Manchester United how crucial it is to bring in players who can give intensity to the squad. This is the key word that will dominate the summer transfer window for Manchester United. But if we're solely focusing on this transfer window, we have to ask ourselves before giving a rating, is Dorgu going to completely revolutionise this side on his own? I highly doubt it. Obviously, the potential is there, the system does suit him, but I would be shocked if he alone can turn our season around. He's a promising player for the future, but no more than that at this moment. To give the club some credit, United's eagerness to get this deal for Dorgu completed was the real positive of the signing. Fabrizio did report that both Napoli and Juventus were looking to sign Dorgu in the summer. United's willingness to push for the deal ensured we got our man. As a result, I'm giving the signing of Dorgu a 7 out of 10 in terms of transfer business. We did everything we could to get him and supported the manager with exactly what he requested. Let me know in the comments, do you think Dorgu was a good bit of business? Now, let's talk about the departures, because this is where things get really interesting. Marcus Rashford's loan. This one shocked a lot of people. Rashford, a United Academy product, and at one point our main man, heading out on loan. What does this say about his future? Fabrizio Romano announced the following. Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa, here we go. Agreement in place on loan deal with over 70% salary covered by Aston Villa. Buy option clause worth £40 million, also included in contract with potential 3.5-year deal to follow. If I'm being honest, it's quite a sad story for Rashford. We all know he was pushing for that Barcelona move, but instead he ended up in the back streets of Birmingham. Obviously, should he impress, then we can all look at this as a great move from all parties. In the summer, we'll end up getting a decent wedge of profit with Rashford being an academy product, and Rashford will have more options to pick from for his eventual permanent move. But this did come at somewhat of a cost to his Manchester United legacy. He could have been helping us achieve silverware if he applied himself in training, but it appeared as soon as things weren't going his way, he gave up. Let's rate the business side of this deal. As mentioned, it does benefit all sides, and we now know that Marcus, realistically, should he not produce stinker after stinker, will be sold for a minimum of £40 million. So we can add that to Amorim's summer war chest. In terms of transfer business, I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. Tyrell Malacia loaned out. With injuries keeping him out of action, was this the right move? Fabrizio Romano announced the following. Tyrell Malacia joins PSV Eindhoven on loan deal from Man United. €10 million buy option, salary covered, 30% sell-on clause. This is something we all saw coming. With the announcement of Dorgu and the supposed return of Luke Shaw, it was inevitable that Malacia would be getting moved on. Not to mention, there were question marks over Malacia when he first joined the club, and ever since he returned from injury, those question marks have only got larger. In terms of the business side of this, again, I'm actually quite happy. Realistically, given the performances we've seen, Malacia is not built for Amorim's system, and no club was going to come in for him and gamble by buying him straight away. So a loan move with a buy option is an ideal solution to this. Now we just need him to impress while at PSV, which from his debut looks likely to happen, and we've coined an extra £8.3 million. In addition to saving money on paying him his wages for the remainder of the season. Overall, a great bit of business. I would give this a 8 out of 10. Antony loaned out. Let's be real, his time at United has been underwhelming, but was this the right time to move him on? Again, no surprises here with Antony. Ever since his first month at the club, he's been extremely suspect, and despite winning winning silverware at the club, fans have always questioned whether the Premier League is for him. People may disagree, but I've always believed that there is a player there with Antony. Unfortunately, he's just not the player he was advertised to be. Considering he joined United for a massive fee of £86 million, the expectation was high, and he has never been able to live up to that. The board inherited a tricky situation when coming up with the best course of action for Antony, but again, I think this is a great bit of business. One detail I really want to highlight is that Antony doesn't have a buy option in his loan with Betis. Now, this could be for two reasons. They can't afford him, or United know there's a player in Antony. They know that in a league like La Liga, he could really blow up, so why put a buy option on a young talent who's only 24 years old? The better he performs, the more we make back from the original £86 million spent. And again, going off on how Antony has started winning man of the match in his first game and scoring a goal in his second, I think this may be an amazing bit of business whereby we could make up to £50 million off of Antony being sold in the summer. Overall, a smart move. I would give this an 8 out of 10. And then we have the almost shock transfer move, United nearly selling Alejandro Garnacho. Fabrizio Romano did report that Chelsea were set to approach Man United for Alejandro Garnacho. Napoli remained keen, but no agreement at a €50 million package, and in the end he stayed at United. This could have been one of the worst transfer decisions in recent history. Thankfully, the club didn't go through with it. When first seeing that both Napoli and Chelsea were coming in for Garnacho, it did raise a few eyebrows. Garnacho being one of our shining lights last season, as well as starting strong this season. A few months ago, many would probably have argued that it was unthinkable he would have been sold. However, with new manager Ruben Amorim being appointed with a different style of play to what the youngster is used to, Garnacho visibly had not returned to the peaks of what we were used to seeing him reach. This led to the fan base being surprisingly split on whether to sell the youngster, not to mention the PSR benefits of selling him. But then it all changed. Garnacho, with a few impressive performances under Amorim, switched up the narrative. Amorim was openly coming out in interviews saying he wants Garnacho, and that ever since he was dropped for the Manchester City game, he has completely changed his mindset, training a lot harder and remaining focused. Although we still don't know what the future holds for Garnacho, not selling him in January was 100% the correct choice, especially given that Napoli were only offering £41 million for the Argentine superstar. In my opinion, if an offer came in for £70 million, I would have had to consider it, but anything less is an absolute joke. What would you have done? Sell Garnacho for a big fee or keep faith in his potential? Let me know in the comments. Final rating, success or disaster? So after all that, how do we rate United's January transfer window? One promising signing, several big loans, and a near disaster with Garnacho. Was this good squad management or a sign of chaos and scramble behind the scenes? Overall, it's clear to see our main objective in this window was to get the house in order, to put us in the best position possible for a big summer transfer window. And I think we did just that. Should all of our loan moves go to plan, we're going to be bringing in a minimum of £90 million for realistically a bunch of players who are providing absolutely nothing to the club. And in fact, that's £110 million if we include the Jadon Sancho deal with Chelsea. Obviously, yes, we all wanted to bring in a striker to give us the best opportunity this season to win a trophy and, well, not get relegated. But I would much rather we calculate our moves rather than rush into things and panic buy players to try and solve something. Short-term pain, long-term gain. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this window a 7.2. But what's your rating? Drop it in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Manchester United updates and honestly biased sports content. Big things are happening and you won't want to miss them. Godspeed.